Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We're going to talk about something today that I'm surprised we haven't talked with her about this in the past because it's so useful. You have a room, you have furniture, arranging that furniture for the perfect configuration, especially when the room layout is challenging. How do you do that? And this is not just for somebody that's just redoing something right now. This could be any of us looking at a change. If I want to change out the layout, but I'm not really sure where to put things in the room. She is an amazing designer, takes care of interiors, builds, remodels, redos, all of that. She's Marcia Moore. She's back with us. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
I'm going to say this before we even get going. When I moved, the last time I moved was like a year and a half ago. I was so challenged as to where to put the living room furniture that I would have people come over and I would say, what do you think about this? Wait, hold on. I move it around. What about this over here? What do you think about this? I couldn't decide. It was I know the TV was in one area and that was a given.
Right.
So at least I had an idea of which way the couches would be fitting. But why do you think this is so challenging for those of us that don't have design experience?
One of the things that I find is that everybody thinks they need to line up furniture against the wall, which is the total opposite of what you should be doing. It's not that furniture doesn't ever sit against a wall, but there's a lot of times when you need to pull the furniture into a room to make it a cozy sitting area, as opposed to it being lined up on the wall and then you're talking all the way across the room with somebody. So there's just all kinds of little tricks of the trade that make furniture work better that most people aren't aware of.
So why don't we look at a project or a few from your website, kind of dissect the organization situation. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
So we have lots of furniture in this one project called Lower Level Luxury, judging by the name and one of the windows, it looks like is this in a basement or no?
It is a basement. It's got one wall that is above ground. So there's windows on one end of that very long space, and the other end has no windows. That's all underground. So that was one of the issues there, is we wanted to make sure that the window, the light could get all the way into the room. So we had a lot of different things that we wanted to accomplish in that space, but we didn't want to chop it up into different spaces because of that. So
before we even begin going through this room, it looks like is that a door?
A door.
Because it looks like there's a plant. It's in the past the pool table. It looks like there's something there.
On the left. Yeah, that's the door to the outside.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of curious. Interesting configuration for a basement, there being a door, and looks roomy. So what was the challenge with this area?
So this all started out because the basement flooded from the outside. So one of the first considerations was all the flooring we put in needed to be waterproof as much as possible, because even though they thought they'd fixed it, you never know till you have another big rain whether it's truly fixed or not. And it actually took 3 big rains before it was truly fixed. So our flooring went through the water test 2 more times and it worked. So what I wanted to accomplish with this space was, it had been dark paneling, big bar, very adult kind of lower level, and we wanted to make it work for the whole family. So we wanted a workout area, a sitting area by the fireplace to watch TV also, pool table area, an area for a juice bar, wine bar, could work day or night. And then there's also a sitting area where you could play cards or eat. So it all had to function well.
I'm going to start analyzing this on my own here, but
okay.
The workout area is just in front of 3 windows, basement windows. Right. I'm going to take a guess and say the water probably came from those windows.
It actually came in that door that you saw.
I was trying to decide.
Yeah. There's a hill in the back, and it was all rushing down the hill, and the drain that's right outside that door is clogged up. And all came inside.
Yikes. So there's different flooring by the workout area. Is that a mat or is that truly a different type of flooring?
So I wanted to delineate the different areas, and the easy way to do that was with different flooring. So it all needed to be vinyl flooring that could handle water. So what I put underneath the workout area is 36 by 36 inch square vinyl that looks kind of like concrete. So it's kind of like a gym.
Mm.
And then where in all the living kind of areas, it's a vinyl plank. So it looks like it's a wood floor, but it's not. And then in the bar kitchenette area, it kind of looks like it's an area rug, but it's vinyl. It's got stripes all through it. So it's really an interesting departure from the other two floors.
Wow, man, that's cool. That
It was
really
very
looks,
cool.
yeah. So that's the stripy thing there. That's vinyl.
Yeah, that's vinyl. Yeah.
Are you laying that on top of the plank flooring?
No, it's on top of the concrete, the actual
Wow.
concrete basement floor. So in a basement like that, you can't put real hardwood on top of concrete. So, nor would I want to down there with the water issues. So the vinyl is, and not all vinyl flooring can handle water. We had to choose flooring that specifically we knew would handle it.
How do you make the transition from the plank vinyl flooring to the striped vinyl right there? I can't see it from
Yeah, it's
here.
just butted up to each other, and then you have to have a really good installer to make it look right,
Wow. So
which
you
I
have
did.
it looks fantastic. You have a tighter area here. How, what was your theory for arranging the furniture and tables and everything here?
So in the kitchen area, I wanted to have a bar stool so you could relax and have a drink or whatever. So we put that right outside onto the plank rather than inside the kitchen because it would have been too crowded. Then
Yep.
we needed an area where you could watch sit in front of a fire or watch the TV. And we positioned the workout where it is because if you had a workout video that you wanted to watch on the TV, you can do that from your machine or working floor, working on the floor or something. So
Wow.
that's why the TV is above the fireplace. And then the pool table, there's only one good place for the pool table, so it had to be where it is. It was the only area large enough without any pillars to interfere with it. And then in between the other pillars near the pool table, we put a long counter height table where you could sit and eat or be high enough to watch the pool table or pool game. It serves multi-functions there.
Everything's beautiful. It
Yeah,
really is.
that was such a cool project, and they were so open to anything that I suggest. They're like my perfect clients. They totally give me control of it. They're both
Oh,
big golfers, so all of the artwork in the pool table room is prints of paintings of different golf courses, all
wow.
tropical kind of golf courses.
It's hard from the pictures to really get a feel for how big or small this area was, but oh my gosh, just everything. It's like a puzzle, and every
Yeah,
piece is just
yeah.
and from the photos doesn't seem congested. Seems like there's
Yeah,
there's
it's
there's a
really
nice
not.
flow.
There's plenty of open space. I had enough space in front of the door to put some plants and, make it feel, bring the outside in. So yeah, there was plenty of room for everything.
Mm. So we're going to move on, and we are talking with Marcia Moore, interior designer, about furniture placement in challenging areas on your website. Which share your website with everybody.
MarciaMooreDesign.com, spelled MarciaMoore.
And on there, from the project tab, we have elevated eclectic. We're going to look at that one right now. What do we got here?
So that is a 2-story hearth room right off of the kitchen. So lots of space, unusable space. There's hardly any wall space in this room. There's one small wall that's an actual wall. There's another long wall that is 2 big, huge windows and the door coming from the outside. So that had to be open. We had to be able to get through the door into the rest of the house. Their third wall is nothing but the fireplace, which is a 2-story tall fireplace. And then would be the fourth wall. There is no wall. It's open to the kitchen. So trying to arrange furniture with just that tiny little bit of wall was a big challenge. And it had to be enough furniture for the family to congregate there and enjoy the area.
So you have a photo taken from above. Is that from a overlooking stairs
Yeah, there's a
upstairs?
landing. There's a landing up stairs that has nothing but wood pillars there, so that we could easily take that photo. And that was the only way to get a good shot of the whole room and how tall everything was.
And this is one room that we're looking at, but then this project also includes, it looks like a bathroom here as well, right?
Oh yeah, I think that needs to be a whole nother
Podcast,
discussion
right?
of primary bathrooms. Yeah, that was a fun project.
Well, we'll get into bathrooms again, but that all of it looks amazing. And the placement of the furniture, um,
So the interesting thing about that is because I needed a room for a lot of people to sit, I didn't want to have a lot of individual chairs or a sofa and a love seat or a sofa and 3 or 4 chairs, because the more individual pieces of furniture you have, the more cluttered it looks. So you're better off with 2 big pieces of furniture rather than 4 smaller pieces of furniture in order to make the room feel cohesive and cozy. So that's why I did the sectional, and I also angled the sectional away from the wall, because if I put it up against the wall, it wouldn't have been in the right space for watching TV and watching the fireplace. So I angled it, which kind of created a little bit of a fourth wall behind the sofa. So it made it feel like a room.
I'm not the expert here. Love the way that works. And what's interesting is the coffee table in front of it is
Yeah.
not a square
Yeah.
table. It looks like a
Kind of like
triangle.
yeah, it's kind of like a clover, a 3-leaf clover.
Yeah. Yeah, but it helps offset the angling of the sofa, if you will.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a cool little piece.
I love the other sofa and I don't know, call it a smaller blue leather looking ottoman in front of it. Wow.
And oh, there's an ottoman in with the chair. Yeah, yeah, that is a leather ottoman.
Yeah, and it's just not even huge, but just enough if you want to put your feet up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
then the other piece that looks like a table, but it's navy blue. That's actually got leather on it, like kind of like crocodile leather on it.
I see that. That's next to the sofa set. What is that? Does that function as a table?
It does. Yeah, you can put a drink on top of it. Uh-huh.
Oh, this looks like a, fun project, and I like the, call it the light gray kind of feel, and the blue, not a royal blue. I'm not sure what would you call that blue?
The blue in the rug.
Yeah, and even the leather ottoman, it's got the same kind of tone to it.
Yeah, the ottoman. That is truly kind of like a deep royal blue or a lighter navy blue. The table that looks that's more like a crocodile print or some kind of print like
Sure.
that is truly a navy. And then in the
Hmm.
carpet you have blues that fade into gray and fade back into blue. So it's really an interesting carpet.
Even if I were to change my mind about the way I'm viewing this and not look at the shape of things, like the furniture and how that's fit and all of that,
Mhm.
just do a quick visual of the color. It just feels good. And
Yeah.
all of these projects, the color just feels good.
That's one of the things that I love color, and I love creating rooms that have just those perfect colors that go together.
Mm.
So a standard color is blue and white and gold. Blue and gold go really well together, and there's a lot of that in here, plus the beigey white to offset it. So
Let's move over from your website, marciamoredesign.com, to traditional meets modern as one of the projects. And we're focusing here today on furniture placement in a challenging space. Tell us about this one.
so this living room was more like a bowling alley. It's so long and skinny that it was really a challenge to figure out where to put the furniture to make it all function. So we needed a place that would function in front of the fireplace, a sitting area there. If you're looking at this picture, the place you would be standing to take that picture is actually the foyer of the house. So we left that open as the entry to the home, little side table or console table there, but we didn't put anything in there. That's bare hardwoods. And then when you walk into the room, you're right next to the fireplace. So right across from the fireplace is really the only a place in that room for a sofa. We wanted that to be the place that everybody would congregate to sit. So there's the two seats on the sofa, two chairs next to it, so you could easily have a grouping of four. But then on either side of the fireplace there's an ottoman, so you could have two more people easily sit there and have a grouping of six. Then on the far end of the room, we wanted that to be like a separate area. So there's a table and two chairs. You could use it to have a snack, read a book, have an intimate conversation, but it feels like it's totally separate from the living area. But you also have two other chairs that you could pull in if you have a big group of people at a party where you want everybody to congregate in the one area. So it made it feel much more cozy and not so bowling alley-ish.
This is why you hire a designer. When you and look at this project, Traditional Meets Modern on the website, everything has a perfect place. And I like to think I'm a little creative here. I would have never thought of those ottomans on each side of the fireplace for additional seating. It doesn't get in the way. It almost looks like it fits. Like, sometimes people put two sculptures next to a fireplace.
Right,
That kind of is what it's doing in balancing it off. And there's a pattern on those column ottomans.
right.
Yeah.
So it does kind of look like a piece of art on each side of the fireplace. And I have to give my designer, Kathleen Matthews, credit. This was her project. So it was not me doing this work. It was Kathleen, and she's an awesome designer.
The only thing, the caveat that I might have here is if the fireplace had a fire in it, you might be warm on each side. I don't know.
You'd be a little warm, so you'd pull it closer to the coffee table.
Exactly. Who knows? It may be 18 degrees outside, and that will get me by the fireplace. I mentioned this. I saw this project once before, but the interesting archway door that leads to this far off room, was that a sunroom? Like, what's going on there? And the color is so dramatic. On my screen, it looks like an orange. What's going on here?
It's a paprika orange or some kind of pepper orange. I can't remember the name. So I don't know if that was an open air porch or what, but it now is a sunroom with heat in it, so you can use it all year long. So I think originally it would have been more like a 2 or 3 season room kind of porch.
Gotcha.
But we wanted that to be to draw the whole room. Everything, that orange just draws your eye to that room. As soon as you walk in, you see that orange in the distance, and it makes you want to go sit out there. There's bookcases that you don't see, and a couple of easy chairs. It's the perfect place to sit in the sun and read, or if you got a cat, they'd be napping on one of those chairs every day. It's a great room, and that color is just perfect for it.
It's almost like a sneaky trick that you played to pull your eye and make you want to come to this room.
Yeah.
It's
come
wild.
Sit here.
And the architecture in the room, the interesting ceiling, I don't know what that's called. A inset. It has a name. What's that called? Say again.
Coffer.
Okay.
No, it's just good crown molding. It doesn't actually go up. It's just good crown molding on it.
What, you would not know. It looks like there's individual.
It does look like a coffered ceiling. I could bet you a tray ceiling is what it would be when it's just one big coffer. Coffers when it's divided.
Gotcha. Okay. And looking at the windows, this house is an older house, correct?
It is an older house, which is why it has that really cool door and the cool windows.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Jeez. This is a great look at how a designer works in terms of dissecting these projects. And this is why this is not for the rest of us, because all of this, again, I like to think I'm kind of creative. The orange on the wall, a little bit like that. But this is like way out of my wheelhouse.
And we took a very traditional home and added contemporary furniture to it, which works really well in that space.
It does.
You don't have to have traditional furniture in a traditional home.
Yeah, that's another great point, because one might think that you would be looking at like Victorian looking furniture or, a floral print couch or something like that. Somebody might gravitate toward that. Not a designer, but the homeowner, just to, continue with this theme of an older home. But no,
Right.
no, you don't need to do that. We already know it's an older home. It's got that
Mhm.
charm. Let's take it up a couple of notches. What's
Right.
the blue sofa?
Hmm.
What is the couch there? What material is that? It looks almost velvety.
It is a velvet. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Hmm.
I think the interesting thing about the more contemporary furnishings with interesting old architecture is you automatically notice that architecture because it just stands out because the furniture isn't the same as the architecture. Since the furniture is different, it makes that architecture stand out even more.
I never thought of it that way. Wow. That's why you're a designer. Uh, any other thoughts here when it comes to placing furniture in a challenging area?
So I think the biggest thing that people don't do is they don't put it onto into a computer and see that the furniture is actually going to fit. People, can't tell you how many times I've walked into a home and they say, well, yeah, we bought this sofa at such and such a store and we loved it and we thought it would fit, but it's just really too big. And inevitably it's too big because it's got big, huge rolled arms on either end.
Hmm.
So you're losing 12 to 20 inches of space in arm, where that same sitting space would work in there if you had straight up and down arms and you lost 20 inches of arm space.
Wow.
So there are so many details to think of to make it work and that nobody knows about. So hire a designer.
Exactly. And and where do you find these pieces? Like, okay, let's say you've this blue couch, just for illustration purposes, let's say you only have a wall of, 52 inches, whatever it might be. Um, how do you find those pieces and then also find them in the color, texture, and all of that?
So you can't do that in a retail store.
No.
Absolutely cannot do that in a retail store. We have vendors, probably 15, 20 different vendors where we can go and look for sofas. I just yesterday, I have a client who's got a small home or small living room, and we want to do like a U-shaped sectional seating area in this on the one end of the room, and they have 132 inches. And so I'm starting to go look for 130 something inch sectionals, which is hard to find. It's not the right size. I got a catalog that day in the mail of one of our vendors, and they had a 130-inch U-shaped sectional in that. So that's how it happens sometimes. It's just the universe is saying, here, you needed this, so here it is.
Hmm. And it shows up, but
And it shows up.
even if a homeowner said, this is where I need to place it, I figured out my color palette and all of that, it's highly unlikely that you're going to find the exact piece you want
Correct.
because we don't know
Right.
how. We don't know the channels and all of
Right.
that. Uh,
And when you buy retail, they'll give you maybe 5 or 6 solid fabrics to choose from if you get any at all. Whereas I have a football field worth of fabrics that I can choose from to make that room exactly what you need.
in terms of price and furniture, if you went to, when I say you, I mean the homeowner, if you went to a higher end furniture store and found, a piece already made right there versus having it custom, and again, I'm talking about a better quality furniture store,
Mhm.
is the price difference like that, or is it kind of in that zone there?
It could be either one. It just depends on what company you're looking at retail. Some companies I get fabulous discounts with, so I can get you the same sofa that you're seeing retail and to be a lot less money. Sometimes it's not a huge difference, but you even if you're going to a retail store and you're getting a good price on something, they're not going to offer you that football field of fabric. They're going to offer you the 5 or 6 that they've got to work with. So
Yeah. And if you want durability, something that is going to be around for a while, you need to pay more. And I gave that example
right,
the last time
yeah,
we got
yes,
together
yeah,
with the couch that I bought when I moved about a year and a half ago. Not an expensive couch, and it looked good at the moment. And
mm-hmm,
I'm going to cut myself some slack. I was in a rush and
mm-hmm.
I needed it delivered,
Needed, yeah,
but the fabric looked reasonable. Now, a year and a half later, My cats have made it a scratching post all over.
Shredded.
And even if you factor that out, you can see wear on it just for, and I don't have a lot of
Right.
people over. I don't
Yeah.
entertain that much. Even that minimal wear, or you could see it.
Yeah.
Whereby I've had
Yeah.
couches before 15 years plus, and much higher quality,
Hmm.
and it's lasted. So it makes sense to pay.
And there's so many different variables that I have access to. I'm working with a couple now where the husband is a very large man, and we needed to make sure that even our really good quality furniture is going to hold up. So I have a vendor who has 2 or 3 different ways of stabilizing his furniture to make it work for somebody who is in that weight category. And that was dining chairs for that would work for him. I had to look long and hard to find those a company that had that qualification that they would say, yeah, that'll work for somebody who's 300 some pounds.
Mm.
So, yeah, you
That
can't find that in a retail store.
Nope. That in itself is a lot of work. And I truly believe if you go it on your own, you maybe can get it to look decent, but it's never going to look perfect. I
Right.
mean, with
Yeah.
everything, the furniture size, the placement, the color,
Mhm.
all of that
Mhm.
going on there, working with somebody like you, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be just the way it needs to be. Thanks for today. Like, this is
You're
super
welcome.
cool. I love hearing the process behind it and what you were encountering when you walked in there, and then the finished product here, which can be seen on your website. It's marciamoore.com. Marcia, Marcia, right? Oh,
More
I'm
design.
sorry.
Marcia
Marcia
Moore
Moore
Design.
Designs. Gotcha. Yep.
MarciaMoore.com is a realtor in Ohio.
Well, at least it's not an adult site. So thanks for sharing that. Uh, Great having you here, and enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank
Thanks.
you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.